Hello everyone, this is Tracer Pixel 128, and today we are going to take a look at the Huawei mini computer. This is the AMD Ryzen 7 model. They also have the A9 model, which is from the excavator microarchitecture. Mini computer, it says, on the top and the bottom. Yeah, nothing on this side, and on this side it says Windows 11 Pro, and that's definitely not the look of our Windows 11. And here's like the usual information and whatnot. And what you get inside is, here's the computer itself, here are the ports on it. Just my camera there. There's the power, this is the power connector, 2 HDMI ports, you can set this up to dual monitors if you like, 2 USB 3.0 ports, Ethernet. On this side is just the information about the computer. Pause if you want to read it, if it can focus. Just the FCC information. And on the front you got the power button, headphone jack, USB Type-C port, 2 more USB 2.0 ports. I think this is reset. And on this side you get the microSD card slot and a Kensington lock slot. And that's the top, and here's the bottom. And what I'm going to do is, I want to give this machine a little bit of an upgrade, because I took this machine apart to take the RAM out and put into the other one my dad has. So there's no RAM in it. I'm going to put in 64 gigabytes because it can support it, as well as a larger SSD that I have on hand. This takes NVMe. This one currently has a 256 gigabyte SSD in it with Windows 11. And I'm going to try to install Linux Mint on it that's conveniently on this thumb drive. So that's what I'm going to do to this machine. Is a few upgrades. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my toolkit and take it apart. Wrong way. Take this last screw out. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to crack this thing open, but I will do that off camera. So here is the machine. Let me carefully place it there. Let's zoom in to what we're working with. What we have here is a 256 gigabyte M.2 SSD by a company called SCY. I have never heard of that company before, so yeah. I'm gonna grab my screwdriver and take this out. This is even the right size. Hold on. Let's grab a smaller size. It's hard to see because, you know, I'm left-handed, so it's all weird. But here is the SSD that we're working with. Now I'm going to, well, first I need to put the RAM in, so I'm going to do just that. Tearing it open off camera. And not drop it onto the floor. Hold on. Oh, here it is in the package. Take it out off camera. See, am I doing this right? Let's see. Am I doing it right? Okay, I got one in. Now I need to put the other in. Like so. There. Now both of them are in. And now let's put in the SSD. I already opened this up previously. This was going to be the one that was going to be in my computer, but I decided to put it in this one. Just take it out. This is a 1 terabyte SSD. And I'm going to put it in here. Stuck on there. I'm sorry if you're not going to be able to see me screwing it in properly because, well, I'm left-handed. I'm weird. Okay. It's now in, and the upgrades are complete. Let's put this back together. There we go. I got the shell all back together, and now I'm going to put the screws back in. So, how is everyone doing today while you're watching this video? You like playing with computers? If so, what kind of computers do you have? Do you upgrade them? Repair them? If so, yeah, that would be interesting. I'm talking about. But yeah, if you've tuned into the video so far, I'm upgrading this mini PC. What's it doing? And there we go. It is now complete. Now let's plug it in and turn it on. Smoke test! That's what UXW Bill would say. Oh, it's turning on. Are we getting anything? I can't remember, it was F12 to get into. Oh, now it's booted into the. Booting into the current release of Linux Mint, which is 21.1. You know, fittingly, the thumb drive I put this distribution on is green. Yeah, yes, some mouse for my computer, so I'll put that away. So, here's some sound. Wi-Fi isn't connected, but I'll do that while I install it. This is the Cinnamon version of Linux Mint, which uses the Cinnamon desktop. There is also a Mate version, which is based on the Mate desktop, which of course is a fork of GNOME 2. And I think there is an XFCE version for much lower spec machines because of how lightweight XFCE is. Excuse me, I can't even speak today. I apologize. Now I'm going to install it. It feels very familiar to those who used Ubuntu because it's, of course, it's based on Ubuntu. And I'm going to connect to the Wi-Fi. Yes, I'll install the multimedia codecs. And now I'll erase the entire disk and install Linux Mint. Yeah, that's good. Now to type in a name. Yeah, the computer's name is fine. Or I could just type in the mini PC. So why not? And I'll just type in a password. And now it's copying the files. This should be a lot quicker. Last night I was installing it on the A9 that we have. It's in the living room right now. And it took so long for it to install. The installation is now complete and we are going to restart. I hear a fan. Does this thing have a fan in it? Huh. That's interesting. Just from a thumb drive. Press enter and put it on the desk. Booting into Linux Mint 21.1. Yeah. And I would like to share my personal history with Linux after I log in. No, I don't want to see this on this startup. Welcome to Linux Mint. Let me zoom in so you all can read it. Welcome to your new operating system. This welcome screen will guide you through your first steps, show you how to find help and where to get more information about Linux Mint. On the behalf of the development team and everyone involved in the project, we would like to thank you for choosing Linux Mint. We hope you enjoy using it as much as we enjoy working on it. Have a great time and don't hesitate to send us your feedback. And it basically tells you where you can see like all the desktop colors, panel layout, screen, system snapshots. It's mostly just a restore state, kind of similar to the, what is the Windows equivalent? System Restore on Windows. It's the version of that. I'll do dark mode. Because I personally like dark mode in any operating system, and that's actually a nice feature. And I'll just stick with green because Linux Mint is green. Traditional. No, not interested. Driver Manager, where you can manage all the drivers for the necessary hardware in your system. Update driver if you need to update the kernel or any applications. System settings, which takes you to all the settings. This looks very similar to the one on macOS 10, and the reason why I say that, well, of course, because, it's all Unix based, but it definitely reminds me of the one on macOS 10. Well, macOS, I call it macOS 10, but macOS, like the newer versions, but it was like that back when it was macOS 10. software manager, which is the store. I remember on Ubuntu this was called the Software Center. It'll take a while because it's generating the cache. This is where you can download all the applications that you need. On here, it'll take a while. Firewall, which is basically for, well, of course, yeah, firewall to protect your, don't let that run. Documentation, release notes, new features, and the documentation about the distribution itself, any help, and if you would like to contribute to it. That's basically what it is. And, oh, let me zoom back out to the desktop. Now, this is the default wallpaper, and you can change the background because they have a whole bunch of different ones. They even have some of the classic Linux Mint wallpapers there with the logo that looked more like a leaf. Yeah. I'll just stick with the default, but it's pretty cool how they have some of the older wallpapers. Some of the ones from the releases. Yeah. That's actually how you do it, but to change, here's a change the display settings. Or you can even go down to 800 by 600 if you like, with the refresh rate at 72 Hertz. That would definitely wreak havoc with this camera. And I can't even set it to 72 Hertz because, well, this isn't a DSLR, this is a smartphone I'm filming this on. And here is the software manager. It has a whole bunch of applications. Stuff like Shotwell, Wine, if you want to run Windows applications, including games. DOSBox, Spotify, VirtualBox. There's even some games. VLC, FileZilla. Stellarium, my dad used Stellarium. That's actually a pretty cool application. Blender. Open Arena. Looks like the icon for Portal, but it's not Portal. Cheese, if you have a webcam hooked up, you can take pictures. You can load Steam on here. And this is some of the stuff that it comes with, but I'll show you all what Linux Mint comes with. Here's, let me move the camera so you can see the, it's not the start menu, but I'll call it that. Yeah, here it is. Or it just comes with, all applications. Just comes with the system, all the utilities and settings. Comes with Firefox, which is actually a pretty good browser. LibreOffice. What version of LibreOffice is this? Look at the about. This is LibreOffice version 7.3.7.2. I've been using LibreOffice for a long time, even back when it was OpenOffice. And with this being a fork of it. OpenOffice is still around. It's now maintained by Apache, in case you don't know. I remember when it was developed by Sun Microsystems. What is Hypnotics? That's a TV application. Pix. Looks almost like the old Google Pixel camera icon. Rhythmbox music player. Redshift, which is a color temperature adjustment tool. If you wanted to have warmer colors or cooler colors. Thunderbird. Which of course is a mail client. Yep. Basically just all the same applications that it comes preloaded with. Here's the terminal if you want to install things. I kind of want to install NeoFetch, which I'll probably do in just a second. If I could spell. This is an application called NeoFetch. You can also do this on Windows, but it's most popular on Linux distributions. You can see some of the system information on it. This is a Ryzen 7 3700U with Radeon, Radeon Vega Mobile GFX, clocked at 2.3 gigahertz. Excuse me, I can't even speak today. Desktop environment is Cinnamon. Uptime is 7 minutes, and it's detecting the 64 gigabytes of RAM, so this is a very powerful mini PC. This thing has more RAM than my main computer, which only has 32. And sorry about the tripod. I need to get a much better tripod. This is the Best Buy special, but it works. So, just some basic information on NeoFetch. And there's also CPU X, which is the Linux equivalent of CPU Z if you want to get even more information and even stress test the CPU and the GPU on this thing. If you would like to check that out. I don't think there's any updates, but I hope you enjoy this video of me installing Linux Mint 21.1 on the Huawei mini PC. More videos will be coming soon, so stay tuned. And I will thank you all for watching.